Alright, so in this video we're checking out the BAICYCLE Quest 1 ST. So this is a step-through e-bike. They do have another version of the Quest 1 that is more traditional, not a step-through. And obviously the step-through feature here is this lower area here to put your feet through and just make it easier to get on and off the bike. This one here is, the whole frame is made out of 6061 aluminum. So it's a little bit lighter than a lot of other e-bikes, especially with this battery capacity. It's about 70 pounds. So it's a 48 volt system. So we have a 48 volt 15.3 amp hour battery inside this giant seat post that's right here. And it's pretty long, it goes all the way through the bottom of the frame. You can see it kind of comes down over here. So normally a lot of bikes with like this around 750 watt motors, which is what this has, will top out around 10 and a half amp hours. So this one has about 50% more battery capacity, and so there's no battery in the frame over here like you would expect. It's over here in this giant seat post, and it's really long. So they're estimating a range of up to about 62 miles, obviously with pedal assist, and probably under ideal conditions, you know, no wind and non-hilly terrain. The motor on here is a 750 watts 48 volt motor, bursts to 1000 watts. This speed limited to 20 miles an hour. So while you're on the throttle or pedaling, it will cut off the motor when you hit the maximum speed. So I think that is to maintain its class rating, class 2 I believe. The tires on here are not 20 by 4 inch, but 20 by 3 inch. So you can see here the CST Patrol 20 by 3 inch fat tires. I think this is kind of the trend now. You get a little bit more efficiency on the slightly less wide tire compared to the 4 inch, and also a bit less noise. So this is kind of, I'm seeing more and more of these on a lot of these e-bikes. Got your traditional front fork suspension, lockout and adjustment there, pretty standard. So we have Tektro disc brakes here on the front and the rear. I believe these are mechanical disc brakes. You can see right here we have a metal plate here for attaching to the rear magnet here, and that's for when the bike folds up, so it kind of holds it together. So here's the folding mechanism here, standard safety lock here, and then you just pull this and the bike will fold in half. Got a fender here in the front and the rear, and they're both plastic fenders. Also have a dual headlight here in the front. And then we have pretty much standard Shimano tourney shifter derailleur system here, 7 speeds. And you're looking at the handlebar here, you got your SIS shifter here, half twist throttle. The handlebar does fold down here. It's kind of hard to see. The handlebar height is not adjustable, but you can adjust the angle with those 4 screws there. The seat height is adjustable here, and there's a lock here along with some keys to lock the battery in place so it doesn't get stolen. But you can adjust the seat height using that lever there and adjust the seat height up and down. Standard rubber grip here on the left and the right. Here's your bike computer. I'm going to turn that on, and I can see the screen clearly. It's like an OLED screen, even in this bright sunlight. Does not come out too well on the camera, so I'll insert here a little bit better video of what it looks like. Basically it has your speedometer, your odometer, your pedal assist level, and your battery meter. And this one has 5 levels of pedal assist. I'll probably give you different amounts of speed. I'll show you that in the speed test shortly. This bike's a little bit different in the controller and how the throttle works. If you're in pedal assist levels 1 or 1 to 5, any level of pedal assist other than 0, then the twist throttle here does not work, and the only way you get the motor to activate is if you're pedaling. So if you're in pedal assist level 0, then the throttle will work, but when you're pedaling, it does not provide any motor assistance, only via the throttle. So it's a little unusual, a little different than some of the other e-bikes that I've reviewed. So this bike does have a cargo rack here in the front. You have some screws here and the mounting points for additional accessories. They do show some additional like baskets and metal baskets and stuff you could attach to the front here, and I don't know if that is sold on their site somewhere, if that's going to be available as an accessory at some point, But I just see some pictures of it, but I don't have any other information about those otherwise. But it looks like you could probably attach other accessories or baskets in the front here pretty easily. There are attachment points in the back here as well. On this rear rack, you can see it's quite hefty. I just have a little bag here strapped to the back here on a bungee cord. But yeah, this is quite a beefy rack here in the back. The overall weight capacity, carrying capacity of the whole bike is up to 265 pounds. A few more things here. You do have to turn on the battery with this button here, power button, to activate the bike, so otherwise it won't turn on. Also, it's a good way to deactivate the battery if you're going to be not using the bike for a while. Just go ahead and press this button and turn it off. And it does light up, although you can't see it in this lighting. This is the charge port, the little rubber cover for the charge port here. And then this is the cable that plugs into the back of the battery. And this comes down to the bike controller, which is over here. So in the rear, the rear brake is actually in the battery right here. So right underneath the seats. So not super noticeable. And of course, if you have something on the carrying rack in the back here, it's going to block that. So something to keep in mind. Taking a look at the seat, pretty standard. Not super comfortable, not too hard either. But you can swap it out for a different seat. There's mounting points here. If you want to put on a third-party generic seat, you could do that. So in terms of putting the bike together, it came fully assembled in the box. There was actually nothing to do except for putting on the folding pedals. I think that's the only thing that I actually installed on this bike. And of course, it came folded up in the box to save a little bit of space. And I'll show you here on the screen what kind of dimensions it folds down to and what it looked like when it was folded in the box. It was basically take it out of the box and take off all of the packaging, a lot of zip ties and foam, of course, to protect the bike during shipping, but it was completely assembled. Yeah, so if you're looking for a bike that doesn't require any kind of assembly, you just want to take it out of the box and fold it and go and ride it, this is definitely one of those. I didn't even have to put any air in the tire. All I had to do is put on the pedals and off I went. All right, so we'll go ahead and do the standard speed and ride test here. See how it does in pedal assist and throttle, what kind of speeds we get, and also my thoughts on the ride as we're riding around. All right, so we'll start off the pedal test here, and pedal assist level 1. Motor kicks in pretty much right away, and then it jumps up to a pretty quick speed here, already up to 11-ish miles an hour, 10.8, 10.9. And it looks like it tops out at about 10.9. It's good level 2. Big burst of speed, and then kind of, went over level 13, and then now at about 12.8, 12.9 on level 2. Looks like it hits a certain speed, then the motor cuts off. All right, let's go level 3. Yeah, definitely freewheeling. And it looks like it hit around 15, 16, about 15.9 miles per hour is where it is settling. It burst a little bit over 16, now it's like 15.8, 15.9 in level 3. All right, going to level 4. $17, 18, okay, 18, now dropping off, 17.6, 17.8. And I can feel the motor kind of kicking in and kicking off to try to maintain the speed, or a little bit under 18 miles an hour on level 4. All right, let's go to level 5. Should give us full power here. 19, now dropping below 19, 18.8, 18.6. All right, so around 18.5 to 19 on level 5. All right, so I drop it to pedal assist level 0 so I can use the throttle. I'm giving you full throttle here. It should top out at 20 miles an hour, which is what the bike's rated for. Big burst of speed, jumped over 20 shortly, and then dropped down. I can feel the motor kicking on and off. Yeah, it tops out at about 20 miles an hour. Let's see if I can just pull the throttle a little bit. So I pull the throttle partially, the motor kind of kicks on and off a little bit, and I'm going slower, about 10-ish, 11-ish miles an hour. So you can go slower by just pulling the throttle partially. All right, so here's my thoughts on the ride of this bike, and nothing really is that surprising. Very similar to a lot of bikes in, around the 750 watt power range. Although the power does burst to 1,000 watts, I think that's going to be useful on hills. But because there's a speed limiter on this bike, you're never going to be able to go over 20 miles per hour. And if you're wondering about turning the limiter off, which you probably could, usually these bike controllers have the ability to have the speed limiter disabled. But I don't know what that is, and it doesn't seem to be indicated in the manual as far as I can tell, so you might want to contact the manufacturer if you're interested in getting this bike and having the speed limiter disabled, because if the motor is a true 750 watt motor and can burst to 1,000 watts, you should be able to go well over 20 miles an hour. Typically, these bikes at this power level can reach speeds over 30 miles an hour pretty easily. But I think where this is going, the power is going to be come in handy, at least for you that are maybe in hilly areas. You're going to have that extra power available to you to climb up those hills with this motor, because it is going to have that power to go up those hills. All right, let's go through the grass for a little bit here. Definitely can go like the name of the bike indicates, no problem. Although I think dirt would probably be better than grass. No problem in terms of power going through this. Is got plenty of power. Although the ride is not the most comfortable. It's not the most comfortable ride, just because there is no seat post suspension or rear shocks, just the front shocks. So you're definitely going to feel all those bumps for sure. Yeah, overall, I think the bike's pretty nice. I like the fact that it has a 6061 aluminum, so it's a little bit lighter than some of the other bikes in this battery capacity. If it was steel frame, it would probably weigh closer to 90 pounds. So you're definitely going to be able to get this into your car a lot easier. Yeah, overall, the frame construction is pretty solid. I didn't see anything in terms of manufacturing problems. And just coming in 3 different colors. I think black, silver, gray, and white are the 3 colors available. I'd say like the only negative of this bike that stands out is the price. It's coming in at $15.99, and I think for bikes in this sort of style, battery capacity, I think something in the range of like $1,100 would be a little bit more reasonable, just compared to some of the other bikes I've reviewed. But yeah, it does come fully assembled from the factory, and I think maybe that's perhaps factored into the price. Anyway, I think that's going to cover for this video. I'll have a link in the description if you guys want to check out the bike. If you got any questions, let me know. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.